Good morning, it's 9 o'clock, November 14, 2022, and we're going to begin with our public hearing. This public hearing is in regards to some reinvestment zones that the court will be considering for adopting some solar projects that may be coming into our county. So this is one of the items we need to conduct, and we'll begin the public hearing with our roll call, our county clerk.
Judge Rathmel,
Present.
Commissioner Mendoza, Commissioner Elizondo,
Present.
Commissioner Solis,
Present.
and Commissioner Garza.
Present.
We have a quorum, Judge.
Very good. So as I mentioned, this public hearing will allow the public to comment on any of these projects. We have 4 projects that have filed applications to build solar farms in our county. Well, this will be the 5th. We approved, one was submitted earlier a few months ago. So these 4 have submitted their applications both to the school district and to the county. And in order for these projects to be eligible for any tax abatements that the court may consider, reinvestment zones in our county need to be established. And this is the first step. There's so the 4 projects are the Rio Grande River Solar Reinvestment Zone, number 1. And this project is proposed to be built along Highway 16, just a few miles east of Zapata, the town site, very close to I think near the airport road. So this is one project that is under consideration. The next one is the Desert Vine solar project. And this project is, I think, Desert Vine, there's a project, Desert Vine is proposed also along Highway 16, immediately east of the town site. I guess almost the area behind South Elementary, there is another proposed solar farm there, and this would be the Desert
Do you know
Vine.
the name of the ranchers?
They're included, Commissioners. I mean, there's quite a few ranchers that are included in the actual applications. I don't know if they've narrowed it down to exactly which tracks they're gonna select, but the area is pretty large, you can see on your map. So there is a significant amount of tracks that they are under consideration. Yeah. And certainly, once the projects are finalized, we'll be able to identify exactly which tracks will be built on. I think the following project is the Sierra Madre Solar Reinvestment Zone, and this is approximately south of Zapata, about 5 miles along Highway 83, and it's also under consideration, that area there. I understand 5 miles south along Highway 83. And the 4th one is the Redonda Solar Reinvestment Zone, and this would be a proposed project on about 5 miles north of San Ignacio on 83. So that area is also been identified in the applications as these projects. I met with officials from American Electric AEP and ETT a few weeks ago. There is going to be considerable investment in the transmission lines that cross our county. They're going to be doubling the capacity of the existing main transmission line within the next year. They're also considering added infrastructure, added transmission lines, one on the West Zapata County line, going east through Jim Hogg County, Duval and Brooks, and then connecting to those transmission lines coming from Corpus Christi to Houston. And there's also another transmission line that is planned from the valley, from Hidalgo County, through Brooks and Jim Hogg and Duval all the way up to past McMullen and into Atascosa County. So these transmission lines will enable many of these projects to be constructed, and they're I guess predicting that many more projects will be in our area, especially the counties of Brooks, Zapata, Star, and Jim County, we'll see a lot of renewable energy activity within the next few years. They did say that these new transmission lines should be under construction or built by maybe the 2028. So I think that allows for many of these projects to be planned and constructed. I think just by seeing the activity that's going within our county, there seems to be a lot of interest also for additional projects. So we may be undertaking more applications in the near future, both for solar and wind. Of course, these 5 projects together, if they are constructed, will add maybe over $1 billion in value to our tax base. Jobs, speaking with company representatives, the initial construction phase will create 200 jobs for each project and lasting about a year. So there will be a lot of construction jobs. Permanent jobs, they don't have a lot of permanent jobs. Certainly they'll be able to maybe fill some with locals, but construction jobs will be considerable. And the economic impact to our tax base will be considerable. The County Commissioners Court has hired consultants to navigate and negotiate those tax abatements that will be forthcoming for us to consider, and I think the court will try to at the same time work with these companies, but make sure that the taxpayers of Zapata County get the most benefit that we can out of these projects. So I think it's all good news. We should start seeing some of these projects if it all goes through. They're anticipating late 23, early 24, so these projects will be under construction in the county. So any members of the public wish to address?
Judge, the end of 2023 and 2024, you're saying the beginning or
the construction will begin.
Okay.
That's what they anticipate. If the application goes through and certainly the court decides on which way to go. But this is the first step. We are identifying the reinvestment zones. The court initially 5 years ago with the wind farms, we had the reinvestment zone encompass the entire county. Yeah. I think we're moving away from it. That has since expired, and now we're moving away to each individual project will have its own reinvestment zone, and then they become eligible to ask for any abatements.
And the good thing, Judge, is that these are very well-paying jobs for our locals.
The construction, yes.
Yes, because I know that my son-in-law has been working on these projects for years, and they pay very well. But you have to travel, 3-4 hours every day.
So hopefully there'll be plenty of work here.
Yes, that would be great for Zapata.
We're looking at about 1,000 jobs, 1,000 positions.
Each project, they said about 200 jobs will take per project, yes.
Motion on the floor.
Yeah, there's no action, but we just, I'll close the public hearing at this time if there are any other comments. And we'll move on to the regular agenda. So we've had roll call, and so we'll have our invocation by Dr. Roger Miller, Commissioner Court Chaplain. Dr. Miller, good morning.
Good morning. Bow your heads with me if you would this morning. Father, we come together first seeking to honor and to thank you for all of your provisions and your blessings that we receive. Let us first resolve to be thankful of people above all else. Let gratitude be our underlying foundation for life as we acknowledge you in this day. So we assemble here today, preparing our thoughts and organizing our agendas to undertake the business of governing and providing for the people of Zapata County. Today, Father, we come fully prepared and fully needing your grace and your strength for the decisions before this court. May we know without question that you are here among us to provide our judge, our commissioners, our court members with all they need to accomplish the task before them. May they be assured of your desire to provide for their every need in this time. So, Father, we ask that you would increase their confidence in their decisions today. You would expand their understanding of the present issues. And, Father, you would deepen their compassion for service to the people as our leaders. To prepare them to see this day that matters before them as an opportunity to experience your presence. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4, communications, commissioners. On Friday, we had the ceremony for Veterans Day. I certainly want to thank the school district for, I guess, making a really special event for all the veterans. And I also want to thank the Texas military who are here supporting Operation Lone Star for being there and participating with the 21 gun salute. And then we were. Yes, they went in St. Ignacio too, yes. They want to be very involved with the community. So I want to thank you, Commissioner, for being there and as part of the ceremony. We have I think, part of the Veterans Day ceremony, I think.
I know they also had a very successful vendors market. When was it?
Oh, yes, a few weeks ago.
What was it, Joe? The vendors market? It was on a Saturday.
There was a great turnout there at the
Yes.
pavilion, and yeah, there was a lot of local vendors, a lot of different items that they were, selling, and a lot of good food out of the local, so
And
yes,
it's
it was.
really good for the economy also because the vendors from Zapata, local businesses from Zapata, small businesses, they actually sell a lot of their stuff at those
Yeah,
markets.
it was well attended, I was there, I saw you there, and had music also, a local band performing, so, yes, it was a very nice event. I do want to mention that we have a special Commissioners Court meeting on the 16th, and this will be to canvass the election results of the November 8th election. And then we've got some items for the Texas veterans that our Veteran Service Officer has some time constraints on it. I do want to thank our Veteran Service Officer, Pope Gonzalez, for really being very active with our local veterans. I think I see. I guess the most visited program right now is the utility assistance for the veterans. There's a lot of veterans that are getting help with the utility bill, and certainly I want to thank them for pursuing that. And it is a time-consuming program, but we're helping a lot of folks, and I appreciate
And we're still also working with the USDA grants,
Yes.
Nereida back there, Nereida, we're still working on those applications, we have a few people that.
Yes.
We've got, I think about 5 or 6.
We're still working on that.
Any other communications? If not, we'll move on to public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioners Court on any item on the agenda. Any members of the public wish to address the court at this time? If not, we'll move on to item number 6, approval of invoices. In your package, Commissioners, we had invoices from 10/21/22 through 11/10/22 for a total of $1,389,750.77. Motion by Commissioner Garza to approve, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Item number 7 is approval of treasury report. Mr. Salinas, good morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. We went ahead and passed out the treasurer's report Friday afternoon for your review, should be in front of you. The first page shows our investments at Zapata National Bank, and those are our CDs totaling $10,091,709.68. And interest recorded for the month of October was $2,953.72. And we've been recording the year-to-date on all these investments, and they total $50,908.38 since I've had them there at the bank. The following page are just checking accounts that went out. The operating had a beginning balance of $861,139.55. Deposits were made for $1,949,726.76. The expense out of there $2,295,763.36. And at the end of the month, we had an ending balance of $515,733.76. $102.95. And the next one is the general fund that we still have open, because I've been notifying agencies that, are doing direct deposits coming into that account. And we have a beginning balance of $309,140.81. Deposits were made for $240,610. And at the end of the month, $549,209.01 was the ending, balance. Then you have the special road and bridge and water works that have a beginning balance of $170,994.54. And, we had deposits of $163,190.73 for the month. Expense out of there, $229,339.99. And at the end of the month, we had a balance left over of $104,845.28. At the bottom of all those checking accounts that you see on there, they total $3,574,944.93 at the beginning of the month. And then deposits to all those different checking accounts total $3,328,468.07. And the expense of it, $3,542,413.97. And the ending balance for all those checking accounts at the end of October was $3,360,999.03. The next page shows the checks that were issued from the different funds, and they total $1,341,16.90 for the month. And year to date, since we just started the fiscal year, we've issued $1,341,16.90 for the month of October. And then the following page are the checks from the different funds, which is the $1,877,73.37, which you will be approving after the report. And the following page shows the expense for the electricity for the month of October. We paid $67,624.04, and our water bill totaled $9,708.06 for the month.
Is this gonna, beginning of a trend, Mr. Salinas, on the electricity bill? Because we were around 50,000 for most of the year last year.
Well, sometimes, Judge, we get, late invoices, and
Okay.
we pay them in.
But I think energy prices on the whole are on the rise.
Yes, I'm gonna be, having, Mr. David Quinn come do a report to the board.
Because we should have a stable price range.
Yes,
I think,
so-
as part of our agreement, yeah.
Right, and they went out for bids, for all the, members of the co-op.
Yeah.
So I was just, waiting for them to finalize all of that, and then I'll have Mr. Quinn come and present the report.
Okay.
The new rate and, for our next couple of years. The following page, shows the, royalty direct deposit that I get from, our well, from Millport. For the month of October, we received a direct deposit of $17,390.05, so that's,
I think on this report, Ms. Salinas, you have that we're expecting 57,000. I think in the budget, we upped it to 100,000 because of the, so, you know, I think 57,000 was last year's, expected amount that we were receiving in royalty, but I think in this year's budget, we increased our expectation to 100,000.
yeah, I'll go ahead and correct that.
Okay,
I just, didn't change.
but it's still, I mean, 17,000, that's double what we've been receiving, so,
Right.
from those, wells here in our town side.
So, yeah, for the next month's report, I'll change that,
Okay.
amount to the 100,000. On the rents that we collect, judge and commissioners for the different, buildings that we rent out, for October, we recorded Sunny National Civic Center deposit is $550. And then we go across Pavilion deposit of $1,050. The community center $1,900, and that's all the rental income that we recorded for the month of October. The next report is what our county clerk's deposits to Fund 10, $6,263.75. And then our district clerk is Fund 10, $60,428.60. And to Fund 15, she deposited $157.30. And our sales tax came in at $167,956.95 for the month of October. But that sales tax is for the prior month.
Okay, yeah. The district clerk, she brought in her whole amount of that we budgeted for the year in 1 month. That's, I hope that's not, I mean, that's really good if she brought that in.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and
Verify.
let the tax, that was a big amount. following page are the revenues for the landfill. For the month of October, we received a check for $55,339, and then the jail deposited $256,113.25. Jail bond fees, $375. Jail office fees, $1,856.25. The EMS department deposited $55,946.67 for the month of October.
Okay. I see Mr. Penny has up, so 250, that's a good, I guess the regional jail is full.
It is.
Okay, so, yeah, that's very good.
We also recorded the deposits from our JPs. The following page shows the JP number 1 deposited $7,787.74. JP precinct 2, $9,858.88. JP precinct 3, $1,208.34. And the JP for precinct 4, $3,036.83. And then the last couple of pages are just the overtime report that I forgot to report, that we pay, the water works, been asked to provide this report, so.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
the end of
Mayor.
my report.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Motion by Commissioner Rivera to approve the treasury report as presented, seconded by Commissioner Elizondo. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Number 8 is approval of checks issued. We had checks from 10/21/2022 through 11/10/2022 for a total of $1,389,750.77. Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve, second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Item number 9 is tax assessor collector departmental report. Morning, Ms. Mendoza.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Okay, when we started off the new fiscal year, I'm just gonna go ahead and give totals for the general fund.
Okay.
$1,322,952.84. Of course, that also, it includes the delinquent, the penalty and interest, and the refunds. For the interest and sinking, we had a total of $562,572.96. Farm to market, we had $29.22. Special road and bridge, we had a total of $151,821.93. Delinquent tax attorneys were paid out $9,730.94 for a total of $2,047,107.89. Fees and other collections, we had a total of $9,365.23 for the hotel motel. Copies and faxes, $240. Voter registration, $390. Interest earnings, $37.05. For total collections of $2,057,160.17. Our year-to-date collection is 17.97. Last year's was 21.07, but we've gotten a lot of checks coming in
Okay.
that have already been deposited for the month of November. Our total collections, well, for last year was, I do have it on here, but it's, we start a new year. It's from October to September, so
Yes.
this will start our new year with a $9,365.
For the hotel motel, yes.
For the hotel motel.
Yes.
Okay, so, I do wanna mention that we're at $801,000 that has come in from the Texas Homeowners Assistance. And we are also collecting, we've had some approvals and some updates, which means that they've already made some sort of a decision, but the utilities are also getting paid specifically, or more likely the water. So money's coming in for those as well.
It's been a very good program also.
Yes, it's going well, and, it's hard because, water, it's ours, it's our county water, so a lot of times they send out the red notice and it doesn't really, make a big difference. But when it's your light bill, the light will be disconnected if it doesn't get paid by the, disconnection date. So that's a little bit harder to get, them to pay because they're gonna get.
So you've expanded the program, right, to include utility bills, because you were
Yes.
doing delinquent taxes, property taxes.
Delinquent taxes and now the utilities, included as well. They
That's
will-
been very helpful, and yeah, we can take advantage of those government programs.
Yes, they have, also included the 2022 taxes, but those will not come into effect until, February, when they become delinquent.
Okay,
Questions?
thank you, Ms. Montiel.
Thank you.
I think before we move on to reports and presentation on the communications, I failed to, we still have the COVID report. We have 2,586 confirmed positive cases, and that's from the last report, which was on 10/11/22, that's an increase of 16. Probable cases, we're up to 1,708, that's an increase of 31, and thankfully no additional deaths to report. I think I did want to mention also, and Mr. Salinas might expand on that, on the different, we've been receiving calls on the food pantry and some of the distributions that the South Texas Food Bank was making in addition to the clients that the food pantry supports. And I wonder if you could expand on that, Mr. Salinas. I'm glad we were able to discuss this.
Yes, Judge, and, Pastor Miller also can attest to this, I know that. This
Yes.
year, in prior years, the food bank that I'm still serving on that board, they were doing a distribution in all 8 counties that we serve. And they did like free turkeys, and then we got the American Rescue funding, which is a big amount. And that's
Yes.
why we were able to go out and come set up at the monthly at the pavilion and do all that free food distribution.
Exactly. And that went on for almost more than a year.
Yes.
And it was certainly very helpful to the community, and that was open to everyone.
To everyone.
Yes.
So, I know that it was a long wait, people would complain, but I mean, it happened in every community, where if you would get in line, and then if you get up to the line and there's something there, you get a bag, but then, that's coming to an end. 'Cause-
Yes, I did speak to, some of the representatives from the South Texas Food Bank, and I think it'd be better to say that basically the funding has run out from the American Rescue Plan.
Right,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, this year, I don't know if people were expecting that they get a free turkey, but this year we expanded it, and the board took the decision, to let the pantries, the local pantries that could afford them, I don't know if.
Yeah, we bought some also, but
they-
they charged us this year.
Yes, we will be paying for them, that's what I wanted to mention. So the distribution that we will do at the pantry from Pastor Miller and the one at Helping Hands, are just for the clients that we have on the list.
Right.
I know that we're probably gonna get an influx of 5,000 people trying to go and pick up a turkey. I mean, I wanna make it very clear that we don't wanna turn anybody away, but it's for the people, right?
So currently, how many participants do you have in
Well,
Helping Hands?
Mr. Miller, I don't know the number of over, you
Oh,
have?
We have 250 registered in our pantry and at Shepherd's Pantry, but we, on the average, are running about 150 families.
So, at my pantry, we're doing close to 600 and averaging 650 to 680. But what we're doing now, that's, we're gonna be issuing cards, and I don't know if you
Yes.
picked up your cards. Pastor Miller will be able to scan if I go and pick up a bag at that pantry, and it'll automatically show up at Helping Hands. So if I try to go get a bag over there, and then I show up over here, well, sorry.
Yeah, we can't duplicate that.
Right, we're not duplicating it, and by doing this, we're able to serve more people.
Exactly.
Rather than duplicating efforts, because then people can choose which of the pantries they wanna go to each month.
Right.
Okay.
You'll have the option, so if I'm a recipient, I'll have to make that decision whether to continue going, to, Good Shepherd or coming to Helping Hands.
Yes.
Cause automatically, once we scan them, we're in the process, through a grant, that we'll be getting a scanner and a tablet, and we're setting up Wi-Fi.
But you were able to, I mean, you're gonna have turkeys for your participants?
Yes,
Okay.
we are, well, since I'm one of the big pantries that on a monthly basis, Judge, I purchased food to try to give to the 650, 680 people. And there's spaghetti. I look at the list, it's like a shopping list that you get, and I look at it, and if there's spaghetti on there, I figure out the number of spaghetti in a box, but then I take 680 bags that I need to prepare, divided by 24 1-pound spaghetti bags that are in there, so we can put, you know, some spaghetti in there. Then if we have the sauce, spaghetti sauce, well, I divide 650 by
Yeah, it's
680.
I know, it's a large undertaking, I know. So.
And I have here, you know, I've printed
And it all costs money, of course, so I guess what I was gonna ask is, if people ask me, well, how can I get on the list, how can I become a participant, how many can the county afford to include, why can't we go to 1,000? So it all comes down to funding, I think there are several programs that you can maybe increase the number of participants, I think Adopt a Family is one.
We do have the adoptive family that's open to anybody, they just have to fill out an application, say that I wanna adopt you know, especially like ranchers, they may have a ranch hand that, they wanna adopt. So Mr. Goliath can come to the office and say, I wanna adopt Romeo, he's my rancher, and for $125, we'll give him a bag.
$125 a year?
A year.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about $10 a month, but they'll get a bag or a box of 50 to 60 pounds of food. And that adopted family, we do the distribution at the pavilion, cause they come from Laredo in the truck, so they also will be issued a card, so.
Okay.
If I'm this rancher, I go over there because I'm on the adopted family program, and it'll cost them $120, you know, a year. And then I have 12 months to pick up a bag every month, and then he can continue renewing it. But I mean, I just.
That's how we could possibly increase the numbers, in addition to, I guess, more county funding, I don't know, it's, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, you know, during budget time, and it's public record, it's up there on our budget, I get 10,000 from the county. But I've got here a couple of statements and just.
Well, it's increased to 25,000.
Yes.
And that is coming from,
From
the wind farm.
the wind farms, on that, you know, we were doing improvements, and I'm not trying to spend that money, cause we need like a new forklift, they're 35,000, but I'm trying to get a used one. So it's like, but what's helping me pay my monthly statement, and I've got a couple of statements here, if you'd like to see. Look at the amount that I ordered. For the month of August, the 11th, I ordered $1,826.64. And I placed another order in September the 8th, $2,528.85. October, I ordered $2,798.79. But what helps me is that we get a FEMA grant.
Yes.
So that's how I can get by the whole year. Cause can you imagine, you know, just doing, say 3,000 times sold at 36,000. But that FEMA grant, depends on the county population, poverty rates. So they'll call me, hey, Zapata, you have so much money. Place a large order, cause you only have 5 months to spend it. And whatever I order, the grant will pay 70% of that.
We do get donations throughout the year. I think we recently are in line to receive one from AEP, American
Yes,
Electric
I
Power.
went ahead and, when you called me, Judge, I did contact Mr. Tony Ace with AEP. And it was a long process, but I mean, I love doing it. I went ahead and provided him with all the information from, it has to be a nonprofit organization, good standings. Providing the copies of the updated 990s, the financial copy of the board, and all that good information. So hopefully we'll be able to get some funding, you know, get that grant. So that has been submitted. I worked on it and finished it.
That'll be for an additional 15,000.
Yes, so we haven't gotten a notice yet that we'll be getting it.
Hopefully we will.
So, but all of that helps me pay the food bank, because we pay, it's called share maintenance, you know, for them to do the delivery, warehouse the items, and we pay by poundage, that's how they charge us.
Cause I think there is a distribution today, and I think, some of the products we were used to getting, or the public was used to getting, will probably not be available. They're now relying mainly on donations, so mainly fruit and vegetables, right, and produce that will be distributed, and it might not be the number one quality, because if there are donations, so that, I think, I just want the resident to expect that, it's not gonna be the same quality we're used to receiving for the past year and a half because of the COVID and the American Rescue Plan, but they will still be coming.
Yes, how that works, Judge, whenever, the producers, have an abundance so they can sell it in the market, they'll call the food bank and they'll make a donation, so, we'll run up there and pick up, the
Yeah.
18-wheeler and then do the distribution of fresh produce, which we need to get it out,
Yes.
or else it's gonna spoil. Or there may be a problem with paperwork at the bridge, and it could be a product coming from Mexico that they'll call us, hey, if you like, just come and get this product, cause there was something wrong with the paperwork.
I think there used to be also some protein available in those distributions. I think that is gonna end. I think has ended.
Because, you know, the price of meat and all
Yeah.
that, we had to.
So it's basically gonna be produce and it's based on donations
On
from
donations,
the.
yeah, we get, you know, there's people out there that give us healthy donations, but specific food. But when you're serving thousands of families.
Throughout the district
throughout
or
the
region,
8
yeah.
counties,
Yeah.
we cover Stark County, Zapata, Jim Hawthorne County, County.
Well,
and
we appreciate anything that the food bank can do for us, but.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of, we did order the 600, I'm short a few, I'm gonna call HEB and buy them at regular cost to see if I can,
And hopefully the public will understand that we just can't, we
yeah,
can't
I'm
serve
gonna try my
everyone.
best to maybe go and pick up another 50, but at full price, you know, cause,
Is there any waiting list to get on the?
Oh, yes, Judge, while you were on that, we do have a big waiting list, and the way you get on there, if I go, well, I'll fill out an application, but if somebody leaves or somebody passes, then you move somebody on to the
Move
list,
on,
that's how we're
yeah.
handling it. There are rules, regulations that we follow, we have to follow them, that if I stop picking up my bag in 3 consecutive months, you get removed from the
Okay.
list. And then we put somebody in there, and then you get clients that go in there and they're very disrespectful, you know, with the staff there, screaming at them
I know.
and using not very nice language. So I told them, we will not tolerate that, call the sheriff's department, we'll get them removed, we will not serve you. I mean, we've gotta, set some rules, because there's people that, they don't let you explain to them, you know, and we're following the rules that every, pantry
I
is
think that
following.
happens to all of us,
So,
they-
I mean,
yeah.
and then I get calls every day.
Yes,
But that's,
I appreciate you filling this in and, well, I know how the process is.
yeah, and, you know, we look forward to continue serving the community. I mean, I try my best to, continue serving on that board, cause it.
I know,
You have
and we thank you for your years of service on the board and just for the conversations I have with the representatives there, they really like you being there on the board and appreciate what you do, so. Not that you get special treatment, but, certainly, you have a voice for Zapata County.
On another note, Judge, I know that, we started getting some checks, and I just, you know, I've been out, I had to go to Houston and get my investment hours last week, and then I had a doctor's appointment,
So check from where?
for the, Precinct 3 Park.
Oh, yes, yes,
And I know
we-
that we've been asked and Pepita had the checks, but I just want to report that we're holding on to the checks because at the next meeting, Commissioner, we cannot accept any donations from the community as per the local government code. Because we'll bring it to the court, you know, and then the court has to approve a budget, you know, that, and I'll help you put the agenda for the next meeting. I've got a total of 12 checks and totaling like 69,000. So the court, in order for me to accept any type of donations,
we need to have a specified project. It's a
Yes,
separate
we
project.
have to specify the project, what the budget is, and up to what amount you're expecting to collect. I mean,
Okay, Commissioner, and you can, I think,
We're expecting 2 more checks, maybe about 15,000, so we should hit about 80,000, something like that.
And that's great, but, you know, we have to come up with a budget.
well, I think the Commissioner has identified the project that he wants to spend those monies on Sister Shores Park, right?
Yes, and it's very specific here, because, I do wanna mention, and maybe you can elaborate on that, Commissioner, because a lot of people said, oh, it's Hillcorp donating. No, it's an employee, right? Because I believe your dad's one of the employees here.
Right.
And thanks to your dad, because he's the one that had contributed like a huge amount. And I believe that this is like their retirement money, I don't know. or their-
No, each employee got 25,000 from Hillcorp Foundation, and they were able to make a donation to a nonprofit of their choice. So we're able to get 12 donors as of now,
And,
pending 2.
Because I know that, when I got a call from Hillcorp, and they said, well, they can only donate to a nonprofit organization, or to a school, or county government.
Mr. Figueroa, he was making contact with the representative.
And so I am holding on to these checks, I can deposit them until the next commission's meeting. We'll present the budget, the amount, and I'll ask the court to, create a revenue account for this money, because we need to track it. And,
Very well.
be very specific that we spend it on the project. So I need to create in the general ledger a revenue account and expense account. That way, we,
It'll be for playground equipment only.
and that way, you know, I'll report all these monies, and then we'll report all the expenditures, make sure that's one of the playgrounds and equipment or whatever.
Sounds good?
But we'll put that on the agenda for, 2 weeks, then
Yes,
I'll run the
it's very,
deposit.
very helpful, yeah.
So, but we've received 68,866.44, and I'll acknowledge the employees that have been,
Generously donating.
generously donated, because it's up to them who they wanna,
Yeah, I appreciate
help
that.
and donate. But I have a list already made up, and I'll mention.
We'll make sure we include it,
Yeah.
I've been in talks with Ms. Garza, so we can post it on the paper once we get everything, all the checks lined up.
Sure. But I just wanted to mention that, but I got a whole bunch of papers that come with me, and then I saw them, I said, well, I'll go ahead and mention it right now.
Thank you,
so much.
Thank you so much.
Judge, now that we're still like, in the comments, I just wanted to thank Mary Jane and her staff for the elections. I know you guys worked really hard, long time, so thank you guys.
Yes, it was a long night.
It was a long night. We went to bed at 5 o'clock,
Yes, so-
between 5 and 6.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to reports and presentations, and item number 10 is a presentation on the Medicare store by Mr. Rene Rivera. Mr. Rivera here. I don't see him in the audience. We'll move on to a presentation from Zapata County Soil and Water Conservation District, Mr. Jose Olier Jr., Chairman. Mr. Chairman, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let me start by saying I appreciate your service to this great county. And your local Soil and Water Conservation District has just completed its 72nd year in existence. And we had a recovery year. The financing through USDA got kind of cut back, the allocations got cut back, but still in this county, we were able to service 20 contracts out of 35. We could have got all of them had we had the funding, but we didn't. And we had our allocation, which was $400,000, a little over $400,000, and we're tied in statewide. Other counties don't use all that money that they're allocated, so we managed to, I'll use the word confiscate, but we requested, and so we ended up with $635,000, 873 spent here. So that's quite a bit of money still. We're used to going up to $1 million, and like I say, that was 20 contracts, and it covers 21,873 acres that got some kind of service through our office. Our invaluable partner, of course, is USDA. They couldn't be here today because they're out there doing stuff. You mentioned solar energy. There's an issue where these solar farms are being put up, and that is regrowth. And I think it was the Walkers in the adjacent county tried goats. Well, goats ended up on top of the solar panels. So now we're trying to come up with a solution. One of the suggestions, and it's gonna be implemented in one of these solar farms in the surrounding counties, is to use lamb. The lambs are gonna be placed on this, and they say that they won't climb. Ironically, Zapata County, when it started its agricultural history, was a lamb county. That was our chief agricultural production in this county. But those are the numbers. I mean, we're requesting our $31,000. I have a copy of the budget. We run, our budget, it's pretty close to $49,000 a year. That includes the salary and all the stuff we need. Our district employee, Melinda Chapa here, is very key. She not only does work for our district, she does work for USDA, and she also does work for FSA, which is not in her job description, but people come there because it used to be there till Lita Ramirez retired, and then they took the office away, which we fought for to keep here. And so now if you want FSA services, you gotta go to Laredo, Webb County, or Star. And we chose Webb County because I have a brother over there, and he doesn't let them put things off. He'll call you 10 times a day if he has to. So that I see her doing that, and I go, wow, that's above and beyond the call. So it's crucial that we get this money. I don't want this office to ever close. And no, I was not there 72 years ago. I could have been as a 2-year-old, but the office is key. It's for the $31,000, we're getting a very sharp return for this county. And I'm glad the solar farms are coming. It's good income. And I'm gonna hand my request and the budget to the.
Yes, well, the budget has been approved for Julian, so you're good to go. Good. We appreciate,
You know, I just wanna comply, and I
Yes.
appreciate you guys, because I know you appreciate us, and you're our biggest, partner, and so thank you heartfelt for that.
on a personal level, yeah, as a rancher, I take advantage of all the programs that I can.
Just let me give you a state of the county. Man, it looks fabulous out there. These new root plows, which I participated in one, we've been blessed with the abundant rain, and the place looks beautiful. And I've been to the state convention in Galveston and other meetings in Fort Worth and Austin, and that's not their experience right now. They're in a severe drought. And I shared pictures, and they said, where was this, Ireland? I said, no, Zapata County. So let's hope it never quits.
A few weeks ago, of course, I always keep up with a drought map, and so I think Zapata County was the only county that wasn't under some type of drought.
That's right.
And that was unreal, because we're usually in a drought, coming out of the drought, or going into the drought.
We're usually the target. The big red is always down there,
Yeah,
so
good to see.
it's our turn. Only cattle prices have tumbled this year.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Julian, thank you, Belinda, for helping all the ranchers.
And I'm on my way to the World Cup, so I'll be
Oh,
over there.
oh,
Enjoy that.
So I'm gonna have to leave. I hope
Okay.
you all know that.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for your service.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the action items. We will deliberate and consider action on item number 12 is to consider grant work fee schedule for FEMA's Hazard Mitigation Assistance Program application approved on October 24, 22. Commissioners, on that meeting, we selected GrantWorks as the administrator of that grant. They did send a contract to my office, and I just wanted the commissioners to review it. It is in your packet, attachment A, and this is for the FEMA grant that they will be making applications to. And if they receive any grant that they applied for, it will be a 5% of the grant and match amounts. But to submit the grant and any documentation that they may need to include, they do have some costs. that they are pre-award costs, and I think that's on page, I'll give you time to look for it, so, the first packet, right there, okay, yes. So they do have some awards, they're not, you know, exorbitant or extremely high, but I wanted you all to look over, and of course, we hadn't budgeted, for these, costs. So if they do, they might look into helping, we've got drainage issues, if they try to pursue a drainage plan or studies, they are requesting $3,500 for that. For mitigation, $3,500, for warnings, $4,000. If they pursue a generator grant, $6,000 for submission. And then they've got, for drainage and other constructions under $500,000, it's $6,000 fee. So if a grant is from 500 to 2 million, it'd be 8,000. So I think in the end, we've got maybe, I don't know if they're gonna pursue all these, grant applications. They do, we're looking at maybe close to $30,000 in total to be paying, that will be out of pocket coming from the county to pursue. And if any of these grants are, approved, then of course they would get, their matching fees. And they did, assign some of those, how much they would, require from those fees, percentage of the fees, 15% once they kick off, and we approve it, 50% if they submit a draft. So, and this would be for each category. I just wanted y'all to review and see if you're in agreement, and then we'll have Mr. Figueroa look over the contract and then, sign it, and.
Motion to approve ground works fee, schedule.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Garza, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Item, number 13 is, to approve advance for work at Zapata County Airport approved during Commissioners Court meeting held on October 24th. Commissioners, at that meeting, we approved, work to the T-hangers, which would include painting of the hangars. The lowest bid was $12,800. The contractor did submit a subsequent invoice saying that, the county, could help, fund, the material portion of the grant. So it's $12,800 with the total, work application, and he's, requesting a $6,400 advance for him to purchase materials. So I said I'd bring it to court and see how the commissioners, so he was approved as the lowest bidder, so he was awarded the contract, but.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Solis.
Judge or Montes, and is this one a ramp funds, you're saying?
Yes, that one's gonna be.
That's ramp,
Okay.
yeah.
It falls under ramp, so, and it's gonna be the whole area of the T hangar, including the front of the terminal, so it's a big.
And with that, we get 50% back.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so the actual cost to the county will be $6,400.
And it's all budgeted, so.
Yeah.
so.
Okay, motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries, and, item number 14 is to approve the purchase of an aircraft tug caddy from non-department amount not to exceed 10,000. I think we tabled this item, Mr. Montes, we didn't have enough information that we could use grant funding, for.
I was able to send them an email, Judge, and they denied it, based on ramp because it's mobile. So anything mobile, you cannot use those, fundings.
Yeah.
But, the one we currently have is from the 1970s. We've been having a lot of problems. There's a mobile one, and, you know, we can be able to, move, aircrafts around, so we can, make space for the bigger ones.
Motion to approve, by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Item number 15 is to approve the purchase of furniture, for Zapata County Airport Terminal. I did, visit the terminal, and they, you know, we did a pretty good freshening up of the terminal, and it's really nice. But there is no furniture, for any of the pilots or.
No, that furniture, Judge, was from the 80s or 90s, so I mean, it was really banged up, so.
I did ask, motion by Commissioner, Elizondo, seconded by Commissioner Solis. I did ask, Mr. Montes to shop local, so we
Yes,
do
sir.
have a bid from Freshline Furniture for $2,619.60, and that includes 2 sofas, one little table set, and a microwave, and a little lamp, so I think that'll outfit,
Yes,
the
that should be
terminal
enough.
very well. Okay, so we got a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Judge,
Commissioner, for your hard work there at the airport.
You're
You
welcome.
really turned it around.
Yes, it's getting there, Judge.
Thank you.
We'll go take a look at it once it's all said and done.
Yes, once it's all,
Getting
you know,
updated.
furnished and everything.
Item number 16 is to amend the budget in the special road and bridge and allocate $50,000 in the line item 015-4566-62621 for equipment repairs, monies to come from the fund balance. Yes, Commissioner, when we, that in our budget, that line item does exist, except it has a zero amount of funding attached to it. We distributed, equipment repairs to all 4 commissioners, but there is some equipment that I guess still requires, I think either all of you fund it, or do we keep funding it, as a maintenance for the entire county, not necessarily for the precinct, for a precinct. So, I think we have some monies, speak with Nelly from the equipment sales, that we can, I guess, fund that line item so we can make repairs to that equipment that is not used solely for one precinct. I guess that's.
I spoke to Mr. Flores, and he said that we do have monies available to carry over from the fund balance, so, he recommended that we use that route of the fund
And
balance.
put 50,000 on,
Yeah,
on that line item. We don't have to establish the line item, but we just need to add more.
The line item is already established, and I did get, repairs, a quote for the parts and for the labor. So right now, we did start with one of our Peterbilt trailers, trucks, and, lowboy, and it's gonna be almost $10,000 that we're already biting into that.
Okay.
The only thing that I'll say on this item is $50,000 is not gonna cut it.
Well, we can start with it.
Because you're gonna repair about 6 big equipment. You need tires, you need everything. If you're gonna amend a budget for 50,000, might as well do it now.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we're gonna
the
kill
problem is
somebody.
we don't have the money. I don't know how much money we have.
No,
Let's see
no,
what
we have,
50,000
we
gets
have-
us.
we
y'all
have-
want, do you want to go to 70,000 or what?
Yeah, I'd rather go 70,000.
If we have it available.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, there is money.
How much do we have available?
There's about
80.
400 or, no?
No, it's a little bit less than 400,000 that we have, according to Mr.
You're not
Flores.
gonna cut them.
Okay, all right. So we'll go to, you wanna amend the motion to 70, Commissioner?
Yeah.
Motion by Commissioner Garza to allocate 70,000 from the Road and Bridge Fund balance to line item 0-15-456-62621 for equipment repairs, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 17 is to waive the rental fee for the use of the community center for the junior ROTC military ball on April the 22nd, 2023.
Motion moved.
Is that 2023?
23.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, second by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. Item number 18, to review CDBG drainage project progress and approve invoices. Order, Mr. Gonzalez.
Morning, Board of Commissioners.
Good morning.
Judge and Commissioners, on this particular item, we have, we've been working on that drainage that is from Mier Street on Precinct 4 to Highway 16, and then from Highway 16 going south to where we have Flores Street or Bandera and Costa Rica and those.
In the precinct one,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's 3 blocks going south.
Yeah.
The county currently, owns a 50-foot right-of-way from Mier to 16. The right-of-way is slightly, on the east side of the culvert that TxDOT put in. So we would have to acquire a little bit on that corner lot where the culvert is, and then going south from that culvert, in that first block, there is a little bit of an easement from TxDOT for drainage, but it doesn't go all the way through the whole block. And even though the creek is there, but we would have to acquire an easement through there as well. Going south for the next 2 blocks, the county does own a 50-foot right-of-way, and we had presented a plat to the court for the, Fontendejo plat.
Yeah.
And we had already included a additional 25-foot drainage easement to the 50 that we had. We have 75 feet in there.
Okay.
So then that,
But the acquisition will be up to the administrator, the grant works.
it'll be GrantWorks, it's
Yeah.
through GrantWorks, and GrantWorks is the project administrator, and they're the ones that are working on that. They're looking at
How much acquisition,
yeah,
what
how much
cost?
acquisition and the total acreage, or not acreage, but the square footage of property, and then the values that it's appraised at.
And that money has been budgeted from the grant itself.
That is correct,
Mhm.
yes, that is a budget.
Motion move.
Okay, so then on the invoice, Commissioner, I did bring an invoice with me this time. I didn't last time, but this time I did. I do have an invoice for, survey has been 100% complete. The plans and specs, we're about 80% complete, and we have an invoice for $4,000.
You wanna approve the motion for?
To approve the invoice included.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay.
Motion to approve the project, progress report and approve an invoice for 4,000 for Premier Engineering for the survey work. Second by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Thank you, Gonzalez. We got another one, 19, review EOC building project progress and approve invoices. So how's that coming along with FEMA?
That one, Judge, I do have a little, updated layout that we prepared for you.
Okay.
And, we did specify some, little bit of demo. We need to meet with, Chief Arriaga and the sheriff's office. We've met with them already. But we'd like- We also met with, we went and did an inspection at the facility, and, we looked at, on that first page, it shows what area is gonna be utilized by the project. And some of those offices, we can repurpose them. We've already kind of given them some type of title in terms of what we could use them for. But if they decide to use them for some other purpose, you know, it's whatever the needs are for the two departments. The other thing is, on the subsequent pages, we have where we're proposing some light fixtures to be removed and replaced, the wallpaper within the building to be removed and upgraded, some walls also to be removed and rebuilt so that we can make some of the offices larger or repurpose them a little bit better. We did also show an item for removing of the parapet wall on the facade of the building where it's already deteriorated and it's corroded on the interior side of it, but on the top.
Yes.
So we wanna remove that and replace that, or put in a different entrance for the clinic and for the sheriff's office. Once we remove that, also replacing the roofing, we would have to add a unit. There is a unit that services that north part, and then there is a section of the building that's dual served by the clinic and the area that we're gonna be acquiring. I would, what we're proposing is to plug those ductwork that's going into that area and put in a small unit that covers, supplements that can be controlled from one office and the other office controls their side.
How about the metering of electricity?
The metering of electricity, we could request a separate meter for the EOC building. Right now, it's all metered together, but, being
The
that.
clinic is paying the utilities for the entire, unless that can be part of
So
our
if we're
negotiations
separating
going forward.
services, we could meter it separately.
Yeah, I think that could be part of our negotiations with the clinic, just to, avoid us making that additional cost and let them keep paying for the electricity. We're not charging them anything, so.
Okay, well, okay, so then that probably would, and we were proposing to put in a backup, service power so that if there is a, power outage or something like that, it will continue to function. We're at about, I think on all the reconnaissance that can be done to this point, we've done, so we're just, requiring that maybe
I
need.
guess last time you did mention that there may be a need to replace the entire roof?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we did do a, inspection of it. There's areas that have already, the roof, media or material has already separated from the
Right.
underlayment, where it's, you have spots, a few spots, where the water does come into the building, and we did inspect that areas of the building to, we opened up the walls, and, the studs within the walls are still solid, they're not, they haven't corroded or anything like that, but we do need to replace the.
Will this, EOC center allow for, I would say sleeping quarters or resting quarters, or, what's the plan for, I mean, it is a 24, it's gonna be a 24-hour operation there.
Part of the idea or the plan on the EOC is to have a training room that can convert into a shelter.
Okay.
Basically, there's no sleeping quarters unless the fire department needs something like that, but it's not usually meant for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I guess we need to have that discussion with the fire department, if they're gonna need a, sleeping quarters, and we
With
could.
shower, I mean, I see a restroom, but I don't see showers,
Right, so we could repurpose one of those offices, we could make it like like a room for, if they're gonna be there 24 hours a day, they're gonna be servicing the community from that point. I think I don't know if that's something that they require, but.
because I guess the plan is to have one unit there available to respond, right?
Yes, that would be the idea.
You gonna need it, Memo?
To have one ambulance, one fire truck, and one DPS, one deputy to respond to an emergency of, whatever nature it may be.
You gonna need it?
Yeah, so we do have plenty of offices that, one of those offices could be converted into, putting a bed in and have just an area so where they can have an area for resting.
Okay.
And, we included a break room, we included some storage, we have an IT room. We do have some restrooms that are already, that's already functional. We could look into making, increasing the size of it. There's a storage unit next to it, so removing the storage and making it into like a shower.
Yeah.
In there, and that would probably, help for that purpose. Okay, so on that.
So these plans will be submitted to FEMA or?
No,
their
we
approval?
would meet with the sheriff's office first and the, fire, chief, so that, make sure that they're on the same, I'm
Yeah,
thinking one
everybody
thing.
on board, sure.
Yeah, that everybody's on board, and then we would submit them to FEMA for their review and approval. We had looked at a budget for the county, we're getting a grant of $1 million, and the county's matching $333,000.
Yes.
From the discussion that we had on the different meetings with, FEMA personnel. So that we've broken down to, we have administrative and legal expenses, 60,000, land structures, rights of way. We were putting in the building structure and the land as part of the, we're gonna see if we can put it as county match.
In kind of, yes.
Because, we looked at the value of the building, it's like 650,000.
Yes.
And our match is 333, so I think that would,
I think it didn't allow for,
They didn't-
from my understanding, it didn't allow for
Right.
in kind, yes.
Okay, well.
But,
The intent was-
we can still, try to submit it and hopefully they'll
Yes.
change their mind on it, but.
Okay.
That was my initial conversation that had to,
To try to use the land and the
Like
building.
in kind.
Yeah, because if we had to build a new building, then that would eat up all the budget, so the county is putting up a building and the land, so that, I
Yeah.
felt that had value to where we could have gotten some credit on that.
We'll try it out.
But, well, we did, and we'll try it again, and, we do have, going down the list, we have architectural engineering fees, they're at 60,000, project inspection fees, they're at 50, site work is at 100, demolition and removal is at 30, construction, we have 530, equipment 90, miscellaneous, we put 35, we have a total, sum of 1,288,333. We put in $45,000 for contingencies, and that puts us at 1,333,333. So that's.
seems like a lot of money for what we're gonna do there. I think
Well, I think we'll be able to, I guess, if
I
we're in an
think
emergency
we'll be
situation.
comfortably coming under it, I hope.
We,
You
I
don't
think
have to
by,
spend the entire amount.
no, but I think by having the building, it does significantly lower the cost of what we could put in, so we're looking at, in the interior, like maybe moving one wall so that we can make, you know, instead of two offices, having one little bit bigger office, if they need to do like a training, office, or if they need to do interviews or things like that from, let's say there's an
Maybe
accident.
multi-use?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the plan, we're looking to try to keep it, within the budget, or maybe even, like the judge mentioned, under the budget.
Well, I think we'll be able to completely rehab the entire building as far as the exterior and,
The paving and,
The
the
paving.
facade and the exterior to make it look,
Right.
it's a building in the middle of town. We
Yeah,
wanna
I
make
think
it presentable for the next 30 years.
renovate the entire structure.
Gonzalez, how is it looking for the fire department?
For the fire department, I am not in that one, I'm not sure who's working on that one, but, I can talk to Chief Ariaga, I haven't, talked to him on that, and I'm not working either on the one for the sheriff's office here, so, but somebody is, but I.
I don't think we've, you know.
For either of those two, no.
They haven't moved along.
Right.
I think we're waiting for the end of the year for the appropriations bill to actually get,
Funded.
approved.
Yeah, these have been funded.
Yeah, these have been funded,
Yeah.
but those, yeah, that we're tentatively approved, but there is no funding, so we haven't received the
Yeah,
actual.
so we haven't,
So we haven't selected any of them.
So I did bring an invoice for that one as well, and that one is at 5,000, and survey is 100% complete. Planning and plan preparation are 40% complete, and that's what we have at this time.
So the consultant is, Mr. Colin Navarro, right? So he will be submitting those for reimbursement? Or-
He would be submitting those for reimbursement, yes.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner, Garza, second by Commissioner Elizondo. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item number 20 is to review textile paving project progress and approve invoices.
Judge and Commissioner, at the last Commissioners Court meeting, I presented the invoices, not the invoices, the bids from Muflon, and they've already signed their contract, the judge already signed it as well on behalf of the county. They've submitted their insurance, they've been given notice to proceed. The timeline that we gave them is from November 14th, which is today, to December 14th. They have 30 days to complete the work. Our estimate is that once work commences, it'll probably take about a week to have that done, but they were gonna start working on, cleaning up the street and then repairing some of the potholes that have, I guess, developed over the last 2 or 3 months, and then coming in to lay down the oil and the asphalt. It's gonna be a 2-inch overlay on that particular project, so that one is, has been already bid out. The survey has been 100% complete, the plans and specs are 100% complete. The bidding phase is also 100% complete. The construction phase, we gave them, 30 days, which is starting today. They got awarded by the court on October 24th.
Okay.
And, we usually give them, some
30 days to mobilize and.
Yes, so we gave them 30 days to be able to get in, do the work, and then move on. And then we're, on that same funding is the textile funding, we have the Miraflores, overlay improvements that are gonna be from 10th to 13th Street. We have the curb and gutter improvements that are on Amidas Drive. It's just mostly curb and gutter. We do have to put in, some, small drainage inlets on that. And then the Pelican Street, the remaining portion that was not done for the CDBG project, due to the amount of funding that we got, we did up to, I think it was, Condor Street, and then so we have from that street to the end. Okay. I know,
On that Ramirez Drive, of course, we're gonna be channeling the water, so where's that inlet gonna, I think there's about 2 houses that drains north into First Street, and then the remainder kind of flows south.
Yes, that is a challenging project because it's easy to put under curves, but then once the water needs to go and release somewhere, we don't wanna concentrate it in one spot, so we were looking at potentially putting in a very small, drainage easement to get the water from the top of the street to the back of the lot and releasing it with a small pipe, maybe a 15-inch pipe or something, depending on the water being captured in that area. But it is some few spots there that are, we've already looked at it and we've done the survey work on that one.
Yeah.
And we've done some preliminary already profiles to match the existing grades, but to see where the water's concentrating and how to eliminate that. I haven't brought.
You haven't
No,
brought that
because
up,
we're still
and you
working.
haven't contacted the landowner that's gonna get the water, I guess.
No, not, we haven't determined who's gonna be the lucky landowner.
Yeah,
Okay.
good luck with that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So we have, we do have an invoice on the Second Street paving. We are at that state. This is invoice number 1. We hadn't invoiced anything on that one, and it is for 4,000, and, that's where we're at.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Item number 21 is to request construction bidding on Mina Flores Park and approve invoices. So, we're ready to go out for that one, huh?
Yes, Judge, on that one, the survey's complete, the plans and specs are complete. We did submit the plans to the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation for ADA review. They did send it back with, their comments. The comments was, they approved the project as is, and they just put in some contingencies. If we added certain improvements to the park to make sure that we included, the required, accessibility to the park itself.
Okay.
And so those have been, included, and so we came in here to get permission to go out for bids and, to bid out the project and get it into construction.
How much you invoice?
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Yes, go ahead.
What was that, Commissioner?
Your invoice.
Oh, yes, it's for 4,000.
Huh?
It's for 4,000.
Including the invoice, Commissioner,
Yeah.
your motion.
Yes, I include the invoice on that.
Thank you. And then that's, I guess, our last project for now.
Got a motion in a second, including the 4,000 in our invoice for Premier Engineering. And, I don't know how quick the turnaround will be with the
Will it be
administrator.
before the end of my term?
No, as far
No,
as submitting invoices.
the bidding itself takes 30 days, so we would be bidding, it out, and it would take 30 days to bid, you know. You have to advertise for 3 weeks, we'd come to Commissioner's Court for award, and then we gave them, 60 days for construction. Because of the time frame it takes to order the playground equipment, there is right now a lag time on the delivery of that, but the other work, we did propose putting in fencing around the park. The kids are playing baseball or soccer or, you know, whatever, kickball. The perimeter fencing I felt was needed so that they just don't rush out. We do have it on the other parks, we have it on precinct 3 on the Siesta Shores Park.
Yeah.
It's a small 4-foot, fence, but it keeps the kids from just rushing out
Sure.
to go retrieve them.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge Commissioner.
You approve that, Mary Jane? Yes. We voted? Yes. Okay. Item number 22 is to discuss and consider approval or take appropriate action on an order concerning the adoption and designation of the Rio Grande River Solar Reinvestment Zone number 1 pursuant to the county's guidelines and criteria in the Property Redevelopment and Tax Abatement Act, Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code. So this is one of the solar projects, and this is the one on Highway 16. And we have a language that has been in the order, that has been reviewed by, that was proposed by our consultant, developed by our consultant, and reviewed and approved by our county attorney on the initial project that we approved a few weeks ago. So I believe we'll be using that same order. So basically, this will be a tax abatement agreement between Zapata County and the Rio Grande. So for each project, it has been reviewed by our county attorney, and So I believe we'll be using the same language, Commissioner, on this.
Judge, I would like to, if one of the tax abatement can go to the Road and Bridge Department.
Actually, the Road and Bridge Commissioner, I don't wanna negotiate on public, but I think the Road and Bridge will be taken care of as far as our proposal. It may not be even included in the, as part of the abatement. It may, receive full tax value, as we, develop it. So, yeah, it won't be part of the negotiation. It'll be outside, so so the county can receive full tax value.
Make a motion, Judge, to
Second.
approve, item 22, 23, 24, and 25.
Yeah, so the next one would be the Desert Vine Reinvestment Zone number 1, that would be 23. 24 would be the Sierra Madre Solar Reinvestment Zone. And, number 25 would be the Redonda Solar Reinvestment Zone.
I second it.
All those four will be developed a tax abatement agreement between Zapata County and those projects, and as we move forward. So we'll, of course, the language will be included as has been developed by our consultant and approved by the court and our county attorney. So you wanna approve 23, 24, and 25, Commissioner?
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Soto, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Motion to
carried.
approve 26.
26 is a street light on 2203 Elm Street. That's approved by Commissioner Garza, seconded by Commissioner Elizondo. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. We have a resolution in support of fiscal year 2023 indigent defense formula grant. This is a yearly
Last page.
resolution that the county provides for the indigent defense that we are responsible for. So motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Garza to adjourn,
Second.
second by Commissioner Solis. We are now adjourned.